This meeting is being held remotely as an alternate means of public access pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023 and all other applicable laws, temporarily amending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You are hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the town of Hingham in accordance with the open meeting law. If any participant wishes to record this meeting, please notify the chair at the start of the meeting in accordance with Mass General Ledger Chapter 30A, Section 20F, so that the chair may inform all other participants of said recording. I don't think anyone else is recording this, so we will press on. Today's agenda looks like this. We'll do the call to order, which I just did. Roll call, approve the minutes, review the town website and stuff. I just wanted to it's been a while since am I getting any kind of traction on the website. We'll do the finances, schools, media grant update, any public comments, and next meeting planning. So that's our agenda. Not on the agenda, the town is going to be reducing the size of its committees. So this committee will be reduced to, I think it's 3 or 5. We're still working on that. So we're shrinking down from 9, which kind of makes sense because in the early days when we were just starting the committee, we had a lot of work to do to set up Harbor Media and all the rest of it. And we also had a couple of contracts to do. We have all the contracts done, so there's less for us to do, and we're trying to shrink a lot of the committees with that the town has. To that end, John's term is over, so he's rolling off. So that's gets us down 1. So he's no longer on the committee. So we're down to myself, John Lawler, Michael Wilmot, and Heather, who's the school representative, and Michelle. We may have to. We're going to be changing our bylaws because the bylaws I think say 9, and Tom Mayo's in charge of that. So when that gets officially signed off, I'll let you guys know, but that's what's going on. All right. Any questions?
Lots of questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So was this something the select board discussed and approved?
They were going to, if you look at the town website and the agendas, they were going to talk about it at the last select board meeting, but it got bumped because Tom wasn't really ready because he wanted to make sure that the bylaws were updated appropriately. So it did not make it at the select board meeting. So it will be discussed at the select board meeting. So no, they have not approved it yet, but I just, heads up, it's in the works, that kind of thing.
And maybe there's a reason for it?
Well, like I said, we don't have that much work for us to do. I mean, we originally were 9. That's like a lot of people to do. So it's just, we don't really need that many people working on the thing. And we haven't really got a lot of people, signing up. So,
So is this something for all volunteer committees or just for the cable?
I think it's a mix. I don't have a real breakdown of each individual committee, so I can't answer that. But if you look at the agenda, it does. It's not. I know what you're asking. Well, it says cable. No, it doesn't. It's just committees. Size of committees and whatnot on the agenda. So. I called it. It's interesting. I kind of gauge the agenda items on the select board as well. Our thing will probably come up in whatever. So I dialed in at the time where I think they'd get around to me, and then they're going through the agenda, whatever. And they were kind of at the line item that I was interested in, and then Tom texted me and says, "Now we moved it off." So didn't happen. So stay tuned.
Do we know, is Kristen or Ruth still interested in being on the committee?
I don't know, to tell you the truth.
I spoke to her today regarding some production she has going on, and she did ask about the cable committee. She said she had not heard anything about her application or the process.
Okay, I think that if we with who we have now, which is this is one, two, three, four, plus Michelle's five, I think would be fully staffed if they, change the number to.
Although I'm not officially on the cable
No, you're
committee.
not. Well, we'd have four voting and
Non-voting
one,
member. How about that?
yeah, one non-voting. So, and it's interesting in the bylaws. It really it does say that it should be the superintendent of schools, and it was for a while. Paul used to show up for them, but Margaret had assigned it to Heather, so that's the education one is still there for what it's worth. Makes sense. So more to
I
come
guess
on.
I'm a little stumped by the town choosing to turn away from free talent,
Free talent. Well, okay.
right? Right? And
All right.
participation in government.
Okay. Yeah.
And what do you do when you have a small group and you can't make a quorum?
Oh, you can't make. I know what you're saying. Yeah. I, yeah. I'm telling you what I know. I mean, that's why I showed up for the meeting and it didn't happen. So yeah.
Yeah.
But it is overall they run the thing and we merely advise. So that's the latest anyway. But I
Okay.
hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Hey, go to the meeting and ask.
Yeah, no, I might just
Yeah.
it's a shame to lose John because John has a lot of TV and
Oh yeah.
production
Yeah, I
background.
think yeah, he actually has done this stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just a lowly software development manager. I was anyway. So um, that's the deal. All right. We've already done the roll call. I did read the latest minutes, and I'm okay with them. You know, uh, so we can approve those. I'm sure that you would like them. I'll if Michael can't do it, I'll do the meeting minutes, and then we'll find someone to do the next one. Okay. So
Okay.
so approved. Put them down as approved. I thank you for getting stuck with that.
Comes with the territory, right?
The what we call I got a note from Mike. It says it sure is bad form that the new guy is habitually late, but I said, hey, it's okay, it's all right, it's fine.
Well,
So
the good news is the meetings are recorded, which helps with meeting minutes.
yeah, that's what I
Right.
was thinking. It's making minutes is a little bit easier when you can just go back to recording and glean out what they said. Actually, I don't know if people can just get away with turning on captions and just posting the transcript and say that's the minutes.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting because that's an easy feature. The other thing, if you'd like to add to the CAC website, Dave, would be on our video on demand because we have the collection of
Yep.
CAC meetings. They're all tagged with that those keywords. So they're all, once you have the main link, you have every new meeting that is posted. And
Mhm.
that one video on demand link could be posted to the Hingham CAC website. And then
Actually, well,
don't
that
see all the meetings.
actually that gets into first. Let me stop sharing. Stop sharing this, and let's look at the website. Uh, let's share. Basic. So that's what we have now. Um, we have the members. We have the programming schedule, channels, the agenda and meeting. Then this is the if you click this, you'll get a it goes to the agenda section. Got all the contracts in here. We have the bylaws, which they're actually discussing now. These were last time these were updated. It was in 2016. We probably should get that in. I've been a little remiss on keeping the budget totals up. The last time I did this was March 22nd. but we also have this is for December. So we're saying maybe we should add a link because I had you put in a playlist for our meetings, so I could put the link that the playlist. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So we can do that. We can add that. We also have a link to we have a feedback form. So if you click that, it's a quick Google form where you can put in the categories are, well, I got to, it's a future request, something's busted, whatever. Has not been widely popular, but there is a way you can do feedback. Unfortunately, I think that's Heather or Mike. Hello. Hello. Yeah, we had a problem with it that we got attacked with the denial of service, and there was someone was continually submitting the form and then propagating fake email addresses, to fill in the form. So my inbox was getting flooded with they were I think it was Chinese responses. So to get around that, if you click on the feedback form now, it'll actually go through are you a human kind of thing, so that you can't automate what happened to us. And I think a couple other sites on the town have been attacked as well, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's the deal. We haven't got a lot on that, so. I'm looking for on the web page here. Is there anything else that we want to add? I'm trying to get more of the town involved in our local access, so that it's not just the three of us or four of us talking about. Is there any other ideas that can make this a little bit better? I mean, I will add the thing about the on demand. Anything else? Going once, going twice.
Yeah, I would say any links to current programming.
Yeah.
You have a request, we'll send you the VOD link or Vimeo where it populates a thumbnail.
Yeah.
And we could give you maybe the top picks for each month. And
okay. Why don't we do that? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the main thing to remember is if you post it, they might not come. So there'd have to be some promotion. I've asked Art if community programming highlights could be posted in the town newsletter. They have a newsletter, and I think that would bring a lot of eyeballs to the programming.
Okay. Why don't you? Yeah, the best I can do is I'll commit to once a month. So give me the picks to click, and I'll you have to fill out a ticket and you send it to the IT. I'll put that in there and we'll get it all done. So at least monthly, our webpage will look somewhat up to date. Okay? Sound good? Excellent. Let's see. Topics monthly. Okay. The other thing I wanted to put in there is I wanted to ask you, which is not quite related to this. Did we get any positive reaction to the PSA we did on sponsors? I'm just curious. I mean,
yeah, I haven't heard of any yet. I know it was the holidays, so maybe that slowed things down a little bit. And then I know Kaylee has it in her promotion schedule for social media.
Okay. Any other things on this? Let's see. What else we have here? The channels are the same. That's good. Did you give John John Lawler a yard sign? John, do you have a lawn sign?
No, I don't. Love to have one.
Go down to the studio and Kaylee will give you a lawn sign.
Okay.
There it is, our new guy.
Hey, what's up? Hi, everybody.
Hey, Mike, how are you? The new guy.
I'm good. I'm sorry I'm late and a little delayed joining my first meeting, but glad to be a part of it.
Oh, thanks. Now we're just getting into it here.
Yeah, good.
We have John Lawler. We have Michelle Bacconi. She's the executive director of Harbor Media.
Yep.
And me, Dave Jones. The other member of the committee who hasn't joined or may not join. speak of the devil
There you
is,
go.
I think it's Heather. Wait a minute. Heather.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
There you go. That's Heather. All right, we got everybody in here. We're just starting, Heather. Mike Wilmot's just is joining the committee. Is new fresh blood. So
Awesome. Welcome.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
We'll see how long he can put up with our shenanigans, but that's okay.
I got thick skin. I'm good. I'm good to
All
go.
right, all right. Should I shackle you with the minutes, or do you want to do the next one? But the new guy always gets the minutes. Could you do that?
What about the next? Well, I mean, I could. I'm a little late to the party here, but I could certainly take some notes.
All right, I'll send you some stuff. And actually, there's another question I got for you. I did. You should have access to the Google Drive. Have you tried clicking on that at all?
I have not.
Okay. If you can't get access to that, let me know. I have access. I have that's not a town thing. The Google Drive I own that. So, let me know if you can't get to that.
Okay.
But you're obviously on the group list because you're getting well, they go to your spam folder, but at least you get them anyway.
Yeah, well, not anymore.
Okay. I appreciate
all
that.
good. Yes.
Actually, do you want 2 minutes on your background for the rest of us?
Yeah, sure. So my background's in the advertising industry. I actually now work with Margie Sullivan and Noah, who I think you met today, Michelle.
Good, yeah.
Right. At Conductor, which is a small production company with a sort of a bunch of us that live on the South Shore. I primarily did account management, client service. I worked at a lot of the big agencies in Boston over the years, Arnold, Hill Holiday, Modernista, was out in San Francisco for a bunch of years. And then most recently worked at a venture capital firm that had a marketing agency sort of bolted onto it. And then joined Conductor about a year ago. I worked with both Margie and Noah at previous agencies, and talking to Margie about it, I've always known certainly of Harbor Media and more peripherally what this board is and what it does. And she brought it up as a sort of an opportunity to get involved in town town government, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a sort of an interesting related activity, at least in terms of what you guys do and what you oversee and what you grant, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully I can add some value going forward. But it's my first foray into anything official in Hingham. I've lived here since 2001. Live out in Crow Point. 2 kids in college, and better late than never, I guess, right?
It doesn't matter. We'll take anything.
Yeah. Well, as an empty nester now, you got a little bit more time to do stuff like this, and I think I'm excited to learn more and try to start contributing.
Oh, great! No, I think that's a great fit because the thing I'm trying to focus on lately is trying to get the town more involved in our local access.
Yeah.
And when I say involved, I don't say actually they got, but are we giving them what they want to see, the content? I mean, that kind of thing. I guess it's more of a PR kind of thing, and get more feedback back to the town on what we're doing and whatnot. And I think you could help us with getting the word out.
Awesome.
We're really trying to amp the thing up. And have you been down to the studio? Have you checked it? You must have been to the studio.
I've actually never been to the studio, and I wish Noah had let me know I was actually in Boston today, but I would have made a point. Maybe we can do that, Michelle, separately, just because I'm in town and flexible, and it would be sort of a fun outing to break up the day.
Yeah, no. Check it out.
Yeah, please come to the studio for a tour. John Lawler did the same thing when he joined the committee. And if you'll give me 5 or more minutes, I'll explain community media as an industry, a business, how it's funded, and the service that we're trying to provide in an environment with shrinking funds and what we're doing to kind of mitigate that and bridge the budget gaps. So I welcome it. Just send me an email and let me know when you have availability. You get to meet the staff, bunch of nice people.
Yeah. You could do a promo.
Margie's always been a massive advocate of it, and I actually worked with her in my first job out of college back in the early 90s. So I've known her forever, as probably everybody has. I mean, she is the glue and of literally like everybody I know, personally and professionally. So I've always been aware of the sort of the entity and the broader mission, but never really sort of down into the details. So that would be great. I'd appreciate that. I'll reach out to you separately.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Excellent.
And that was not my dog.
I have to say it's mine. My husband ran out to run a couple of errands, and Amazon delivery guy is here all the time at our
Yeah.
so I just got a delivery apparently.
That's great.
For some reason or other, I get everybody else's Amazon boxes. I don't know why that is, but that's okay. It is nice that they send you a picture. It says, "Oh, I know whose porch that is." It's not my porch. Anyway, okay. Finances update. We're on. This is the. Hopefully, I'm clicking the right link. This comes from Michelle. It's a live link. I mean, these are the real numbers, right, Michelle? Is there anything on there that you want to bring up, or is it we're
Yep.
going along?
Those are our expenses through the month of December. That's our budget to actual. That's all confirmed with our bookkeeper. I do the expenses in-house, expenses and revenue, and then our bookkeeper double checks me on everything. We're also in the middle of an audit. We go through an annual audit every year as a nonprofit in Massachusetts. So we'll be presenting that. I believe the accountant is presenting that to the board of directors the first week of February. This is nice to have because at any point, whoever has this link, read only privileges, not privileges. Very important information, but it shows you where we are, what we've budgeted, and where we are on those numbers, along with the revenue we've received. Our agreement with the town of Hingham is that we receive 95% of the cable fees they receive. So that's paid out on a quarterly basis because the town receives checks from Comcast and Verizon on a quarterly basis. It's a little bit of an algebraic equation in that there is an X factor that we don't know about, and that is each quarter we have seen a little drop in the funding. However, the budgets I build and present the February before April get approved and the new fiscal year every July 1st, I have to build in some wiggle room on that because for the past 3 years, we've received less than we budgeted for. And that's with dropping the budget each year. So that's the reality of cable funding. We do offer a creative services business, which is video production for hire. And our projects will range from $2,000 to $8,000 to $10,000. I'd be happy to answer questions about that. We have 2 projects in the works right now with Hingham Education Foundation and North South River Watershed Association. So that's private video production for marketing purposes, education purposes, Battelle grant funded, etc. But yeah, that is the link, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that budget to actual.
And we added a link for the production grant funds.
Yes. Yeah, there are different tabs for different bank accounts that we have. We separate our bank accounts from operating, creative services, and the grant fund.
Mm-hmm.
Pickleball Productions. I love it.
Yeah, so we actually have 29 videos in production just through the grant fund right now. We had our first cycle open up this summer or May 1st last year. And that first cycle, and then just closing the second cycle of grant funds, we have a total of 29 videos in production. Pickleball is a 10-minute comedy micro SAG budget. And it was just completed and we premiered it on our channels.
So I was actually playing there when you guys shot that at Plymouth River. And Margie, of course Margie was there. And she saw me from a distance. She's like, "Oh my God, is that Mike?" And she came like prancing over. It's like, "Hey, is that Mike Wilmot playing over there?" It's hilarious. But that was funny to sort of watch that. I saw you guys in action.
You didn't get on screen, did you?
No, I wish I would have. It didn't seem like the people who were on screen knew what they were doing on the court, but that's okay. They were funny, right?
That was part of the hilarity of the
yeah, totally. So all good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the one thing our viewers in Hingham cannot do is watch that on video on demand because the producer is submitting that film to festivals and awards. So it airs on cable television, but unlike the rest of our programming, it is not enabled on our video on demand. They need to get through their season of awards and festivals before it can be made available online. But it
Oh,
can
that's
be
interesting.
streamed live, and all the air times are on that link.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can find out from the website when it's aired, right? I mean, it's
Exactly.
simple. It's, yeah.
I think the next date, I don't have it pulled up, but I want to say it's the tomorrow or Friday night is the next date. And on our website, you can stream live content and video on demand, but this producer did not want the video on demand because honoring the guidelines of festivals.
Yeah. Excellent.
And
Well,
then and then 28 other videos in production. So that's outside of our own production for public education and government, our different categories. And Dave, you have, and I think have shared our edit sheet.
yep.
We have between our government meetings, our education features, and our public with our members and volunteers, we have just more than 50 videos planned for the month of month of January that are currently in production.
And Mike, the grant program is a fairly new thing for us, so
Yeah.
we're very excited on getting that off the ground. And
Yeah, it's very cool.
yeah, yeah. All right, that's finances, and why don't we see what's going on with where is it? I don't think I got that. Well, Heather, you're on, but I don't think I have your um, the list that you generally put out. So you want to talk to education? What's happening?
Yes. So a couple things going on right now. Not per se contributed content. I know we've been lacking in January, definitely. But we've been collaborating with Christina's team, and she actually produced a really great promotional video for our integrated preschool program.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. I mean, I can share it with the CAC, but she caught really good B-roll. I mean, it really highlighted the good parts of the program and really, how caring the teachers are and stuff like that. And we wrote a script together and then kind of did that voiceover. And I think it's like 59 seconds. So she did a really great job with that.
Okay.
And that was really um, I mean, it definitely will play well on the channels. I mean, I think it would just because there's so much rich video content on there. But it's really to raise awareness that the schools have this preschool program. Um, for whatever reason, there's just not a whole lot of awareness that this program exists, and it has
Yeah. Yeah.
a right, and it's called integrated pre-K or preschool, and that basically means special education students and neurotypical peers are in the same classroom, and like it's like a ratio, like 7 to 8 type thing. So it's kind of like a mutually beneficial program, and nobody knows about it. So I worked with Christina on that, and it came out so good. Really happy with that work. And the second thing that will be in development, probably in the next couple months, is so over the past few months, Christina has been getting a lot of footage of our fine arts productions. So like chorus, band, orchestra. I think she went to high school and middle school, just really high quality bits of video. And we're going to work collaboratively with Joanne Bellis, the fine arts director, to highlight the different programs, the different fine arts programs and classes, specifically the intro to piano, and of course I'm blanking on the other one, but they're two new classes.
Yeah.
And they're hoping to do kind of interviews and stuff like that. And then today, Sebastian's actually at our kindergarten information session, so that one, it will probably be a solid hour. as well. But but I did pull up the education tracker. I
You
don't
want to
know.
share? Or yeah.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot of.
Yeah, you can. You should be able to share.
Yeah. Okay.
So Mike, Christina that Heather is talking about is our education producer. So we have a dedicated position that is education producer. It's in the contract. And so that's something we've had for nearly 9 years.
Got it.
And Christina's new in the role. We had someone there just more than 8 years, but Christina was on our team 4.5. And so it's presented a growth opportunity for her, and she's been hitting it out of the park. She and Heather work really well together. And that's for our dedicated education programming. So the schools request that we do things. We proactively would cover things and run it by Heather.
Yeah.
The various elementary schools, the middle school and the high school might reach out to us and say, hey, can we do this with you? And then Heather creates her own contributed education content, as well as a video production class at the high school that
Great.
in video.
Very cool.
Yeah, and that's kind of in our development stages, I would say. The class typically, the high school class, that the original agreement was that the contributed content was going to be come from this class specifically. But they actually internally they make the Friday show, which is really specific to high school students, and and it has like copyrighted music and stuff like that. So it just like it couldn't play on the channels. So they're working to add items to the curriculum actually to have like student-led productions, like they can shoot it on their cameras or whatever and edit it together. So that's still a work in progress. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
As I said, I mean, there's not a whole lot going on in December is great, but not a whole lot in January so far. But I know that Christina just finished producing the fine arts in conversation with Hingham Public Schools. So Mike, actually, our superintendent of schools, Margaret Adams, she actually the what we're doing there is she actually interviews like different district leaders about kind of their and like breaks down what they're doing. So that one was actually really interesting. If you guys haven't seen it, the in conversation with Joanne Bellis, she highlighted like the entire fine arts department in under a couple of minutes, and I learned some stuff. So I think those are really great productions. And again, like I said, here you're seeing here this preschool and pre-K video, which I just saw on social media today. So definitely go give that one a look.
So Dr. Adams recorded those interviews. We did it in blocks of time in our studio with different departments and contacts within Hingham Public Schools. So she interviewed them, and then we edit that. We recorded the footage and we edit it with all kinds of B-roll that we already have. And in some cases, we shot new B-roll. And so you can imagine the fine arts interview has quite a bit of interesting B-roll.
Yeah, cool.
It really does. Again, such a great job with that. I mean, I think that's what makes her her production so great, is all of the B-roll and all of the visual footage. So yeah.
Are we doing like bulletin board things, Michelle? Like coming up soon on the education channel, that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's actually integrated into our TV software. And because our videos don't follow like a network length of time, 30-minute show, hour show.
Yeah.
Have varying increments from member produced shows, from a meeting, that's not on a time schedule. So popping up in between each show that's scheduled is coming up next week. It's called a carousel feature on our software.
Yeah. Okay.
So if we schedule something at 8 and it ends at 8:47, you'll see the carousel. We have an internal policy of no more than 3 minutes of a carousel before another show needs to populate.
Yeah. Excellent. Heather, before you join, one of my things for 2024 is to try to get more feedback from the town, to get them more, like you say, well, no one knew, well, it's interesting when people find out that I'm somewhat involved in this thing. oh, we got local cable. It's yeah, we got local cable. So yeah, more visibility and more feedback would be great. Good, bad, or ugly. We should. I want more of the town involved in what we're doing, and because obviously there's not as many subscribers, and we want to what we have, we want to have value for it. So
Yep.
excellent. I'm going to look forward to this preschool thing. You seem pretty pumped about it. I want to.
Oh, I know. I don't get pumped much.
I
No,
know.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, her productions I'm pumped about, absolutely. And actually just a quick update. Actually, I might have this is a new update, but I realize I have to follow back up with Jim, our athletic director. I'm not sure if he got back to Ryan, but do you guys remember the whole conversation of trying to get the sports
Yeah,
streamed
yeah.
live?
The
Yeah,
Sports
so
Alliance thing. Yeah.
oh no.
No, well, this is the other thing. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so like there's built-in cameras
Right.
in the gym and then also in the on the turf for the fall and spring sports.
Yep. Yep.
So we were trying to figure out, is that even possible? And according to Ryan, basically there's a, I don't know if it's cable cast. I'm gonna butcher like all of these terms, but there's a new way to broadcast the YouTube live streams without like there being a middle point. So Ryan said it worked. And really we just need to test it like in the school. So I have to follow back up with Jim, but once that um once that's live, I mean, we could stream like every single game in the gym. It just can't be kept on like on demand or anything like that.
Right.
Right. So that is integrating Huddle. If you're familiar with that
Yep.
sports video streaming, HUDL, we were able to integrate that directly into our Cablecast Tightrope system, which is our TV software. It's like you can make a video, but you need TV software to put it on television and to schedule it and to disseminate it. So Ryan, our director of operations, worked with Jim Quattromoni, the athletic director, and they did some tests already on it, and it looks like it's a go, and it's great upgrade that the school has with their automatic robotic camera system.
Yep.
Go into Huddle, and then Huddle is a copy paste into our Cablecast system. So
Mhm.
we'll be offering those live. We can offer them to repeat showings on TV, but Jim Quattromoni asked us not to make it video on demand because then people outside of Hingham can see them, and they don't really want that for their sports games, just on cable TV.
Yeah. Well, that's the value add for the cable. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's fantastic for us. And then we get to promote that to the community. So it
Yeah.
brings in more viewers. It expands the footprint. It brings in more viewers that maybe didn't know about us. But Kaylee does a good job of posting on our social media, but also on the Hingham pin boards, because those are folks who don't always follow us. Then they will become more
Right.
aware, especially with high school sports. That's very sticky.
Right.
Yep.
I am finding that when I talk to people in the town that there's kind of two camps. There's one camp that will only watch it live, on their cable box, and there's another, if it's not on demand, they don't watch any. There seems to be this division. I don't know if that's a technical thing or whatever, but there's this like two camps of people who watch, and then there's obviously a mix. Computers. I don't have a computer. Usually the ones that only watch it on live are the ones that notice that I'm on it, and they say, "Well, but that's a whole different." Oh, I saw your PSA, that kind of thing. But yeah, but the more we have feedback and visibility, and I think it'll grow. I think that's good. That's goodness. And she's pumped about the preschool thing. I definitely got to look at that one. So.
I'll look. Check that out.
What else I got here? I got more on the Harbor Media and grants. I think we're rolling along. Are we still doing the theater thing, or is that run its course?
Is that the company theater?
Yeah.
Joan of Arc rock opera original.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that documentary is in editing right now.
Okay. Cool. All right. And I think you were saying that the proposals have gone up, right? I mean, we've gotten more than
Yes,
this.
our second our second cycle, we had a lot more proposals. And then we had some folks that the committee took a pass on this time, but gave constructive feedback, and we expect them to apply again in our next cycle, May 1st.
Excellent. All right. I don't have a heck of a lot more. Let's see. Next meeting then. Do we need one once a month, or do we want to go once every 2 months?
Well, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do we ever meet in person?
Well, actually, we did before the pandemic. We would be up in town hall. The deal now is, in order to do this, because there's a dispensation for the open meeting law in order to do a Zoom meeting. Because person to this, you could not do a Zoom meeting instead of an open meeting. But there's a little verbiage that we say that allow us to do this. The select board actually does both. They meet in the town and they have a Zoom meeting at the same, so it's a hybrid kind of thing. We definitely, I mean, I only live down the street from it, so it's no big deal for me. It's up to you guys whether you want to. I think that, and my preference would be one or the other, because logistically, setting it up so that you can get the Zoom to work in the town and also run the meeting tends to be a little, I don't have that much expertise running it. The select board, they have people actually that are helping out and do it. I know Kaylee is up there lurking in the background, helping out with the switching and all that. I don't have any of that. So I don't know. What do you think? Do we want to do it in person? Or?
I can actually attend often because it's on Zoom. I was actually late coming back from Bridgewater. I coach a hockey team, the varsity team out there. So there was a parent meeting, and I'm just getting back. So I would have just missed this meeting. So
if you didn't have the Zoom.
Yeah, I prefer Zoom. Sorry, if I'm not communicating great today.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, we can do both, but actually that brings up another point that it's not on the agenda, but Michelle and I were talking about whether we could edit a Zoom thing, and we haven't had our Zoom training yet. We were going to ask them that. Have you heard any more on that, Michelle? Whether you can edit out parts that have nothing to do with the meeting, they're technical stuff?
Yeah, we checked with the State House video production contact, and then we checked with the head of Mass Access, executive director of Winthrop, who acts as the head of Mass Access, which is the Association for Community TV in Massachusetts. And there's no hard, fast rule. The idea is that you wouldn't really edit anything out, but if you have a technical glitch, that's perfectly acceptable as long as there's no, actual content edited out.
Yeah. And then more on that point, we also discussed feedback. Some of the feedback I got from citizens was if the select board or a committee goes into executive session, obviously, there's nothing happening, and so we could edit that out.
Live, you can't really do anything about.
That's right.
We have a graphic for that.
Yeah.
With the only exception is the second floor is just space just being upgraded, so there was not graphics capability on that switcher, but that was since been upgraded. And so, but in post, we edit that out, executive session, and then we come back to the meeting.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, next month. What do you think? Yes, no?
Sure.
Right, come on, you want to go? Come on.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's see, what do I got here?
Wednesdays are bad for me, though, in general.
Wednesdays are bad. Okay. Tuesdays are bad for me.
Okay.
So how about that? Well, I better not do Monday either. How about Thursday? Thursday, the 15th.
Hold on.
Thursdays aren't great for me.
Okay. Let's see. Can't do Wednesday.
I'm an empty nester with no plans, so.
Can't do Thursday. Well, we could do.
Actually, if we're just talking February's meeting. It's just my hockey season, but we're finished after February. So really, it just would be that meeting. I'd be coming in late, like today, and then the
That's
rest
okay. All right.
Thursdays.
Well, why don't we do Thursday the 15th? You can come in late. All right. We can start at 7:30. Would that be better?
30 would be fun.
I'll probably get to here exactly at 7:15. It's yeah.
All right. All right. Well, I'll make it 7:30. Everybody okay? 7:30 on the 15th. Going once.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. All right. I had in the formal part of the meeting, I have to hear a motion to adjourn unless there's something else we want to talk about. Going
Motion
once.
to adjourn.
And, okay. John Lawler. Yeah, you aye. All right. Dave Jones, aye. Mike, your first vote. All right. Heather.
Aye.
All right. All right. Hey, thanks for joining, Mike. I'll do this minutes. I'll sell you the next one. And I actually have a
I
link.
took them. I took
Huh?
them, Dave. I got them if you want them.
All right. All right. Okay, you're in. I'll
I just need to know what the format for it. You let me know.
yeah. I got it all written up what you do. It's easy. If you'd like to contact the committee, you can reach us at cac@hingham-ma.gov, or you can visit our webpage by scanning the QR code in the lower left-hand corner on your screen. Thanks for watching.